Hello YouTube, Tree Trunks Entertainment coming back to you. Today I'm going to be talking about my Stumpjumper, and I will be going over my mullet setup, what I've done to convert this to a mullet, some of the pros and cons. Let's get into it here. So what did I do to convert this? Basically, Specialized has a mullet link that is built and designed for their Levo and their Stumpjumper Evo models. It bolts on, no issues there. So that was one of them. The other thing is a wheel. You're gonna need a 27.5-inch wheel. I built one here, reusing a DT Swiss 370 hub. And then obviously you're gonna need some valves if you go with tubeless or an inner tube, and then a new tire. I transferred my rotor and cassette, but if you want to have another rotor and cassette ready to go, you could purchase another one. The other things I did was adjusted my, kind of retuned my shock here, just checking the sag, and then messing with the compression and rebound as well, because it does give it different leverage compared to the original linkage, which this one is here. The last thing I got was a bash guard here to protect the chainring, because it does lower the bottom bracket. I did have it in the low setting in the back here as well the whole time. Let's get into the pros of the mullet setup. So basically, the rear end really starts to come alive with the smaller wheel. It turns in a lot faster, like a snappy rear end. Overall, it's playful, and it does make the back end feel a bit lighter too. So jumping, you can notice a little bit of, just easier to bring the back end up, as well as like rolling, like bunny hopping over stuff in the trail. It just feels a little bit lighter and more playful. The other thing I noticed was the head tube angle. I just used my phone and like one of those level apps, and I was checking it, and it was at 64 degrees in the low position back here. I didn't check it with the high position flipped over, but that was really interesting, and I really liked how that felt going down the hill. Overall, mullet setup has its advantages, definitely, especially downhill and tight sections. A lot of switchbacks, steep downhill. It adds a lot of value, but I'd say it's not the best setup for all around. I think I would kind of rather have this as a 29er, but I was curious and wanted to try it out, so I figured I'd give it a go and let you guys know what my opinion is on it. The cons, let's get into those. So it does roll slower, like riding to the trails, riding in mellow trails. I noticed it does roll a bit slower, so I really have to put more effort into pumping during the trails and just doing all I can to keep the speed up. The other con was, so there was a bit of a few mechanical noises that I've heard once I had this link on. So the first one is the seat tube. So it started to creak, especially when I was climbing up steeper stuff. Like I said, this is definitely slack, the head tube angle. I didn't measure the seat tube. I didn't really care, but I basically just removed my dropper, and then I just added some more fiber grip in there, some fiber grip grease into here, and that made it a bit quieter. So the other issue I had was also while climbing, and I was in the lowest gear, the derailleur started to skip a little bit, And I noticed that if it was happening mainly when the shock was not locked out, with the shock locked out, that issue went away for the most part. Maybe one or two times randomly when I was really giving a lot of force, it would kind of skip a little bit. That was the only two mechanical issues that I ran into. But I will show a little bit of the things that I've done here. So again, once I put the mullet link on, I did lower the stem. So now there's 10 mils under here. I installed this bash guard to protect my chainring. And then this is the mullet link here. So you can take a nice look at that. And then this wheel that I built, again, nothing fancy, just reused a hub from the shop. But this is the original link here. So you see how this kind of goes upwards. Now with the mullet link, it goes pretty much the opposite way, in a downwards. So overall, it does work. It's fun to try it, but yeah, it's not for every trail. I would say it's good for tight switchback trails, really steep trails, maybe some that has a lot of jumps on it. That would be fun. That's all for today. Just wanted to kind of review the mullet setup real briefly. Now, Specialized does not claim this link is for the Stumpjumper alloy. It does work, so just keep that in mind if you do want to install this on your bike. Other than that, I'll fill you guys in on the next video.